Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lunch with Lisa. I am Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self Healing. I am a teacher of self healing, and today I wanted to talk about why science has to change. As I scroll through my Facebook feed, I look at a lot of posts that say, well, I trust the science. I'm listening to the science. I believe in the science. So let's take a look at that. One of the things about science is that it changes from time to time. There's a period of time a while back in our human history where the science of astronomy was the overriding principle was that the sun circled the earth because it was obvious. To the naked eye, it looked like the sun rose in the east, set in the west, circled around, and came back again. So it was obvious that the sun circled around the earth. And that's how humans lived that was the science of the time for a long period of time. Hey, Donna. Hey, Michelle. Thanks for joining me today. So the science was the overriding principle, and that science said that the sun circled the earth. Then the science had to change. Why? Well, because it wasn't true. The man's assumption that the sun circled the earth simply wasn't a true thing in the universe. It's not how it happens, it's not how it works. But that was the overriding science until Copernicus came along and he said, wait a minute, something's weird about this. So he spent years doing research. He would take the angles of the sun and he would make charts and graphs until he could see the big picture in the charts and graphs that he had made. And it became clear to him when he was able to make the charts and maps and stand back and look at them and see, oh, wait a minute, something else is happening here. And it took a long time for that science to become mainstream. You know, he was shunned. He was told that he was a heretic. Galileo came along and said, "Hey, I think that guy Copernicus was right," but he was labeled a heretic. He was so. It's not easy sometimes to for the people that see that the science has to change. Those people get a lot of kickback. There's a lot of pushback. And one of the things that's happening on our planet now is we've got some biology science that needs to be looked at again because we've got humans that are running around on the planet in fear of death, in fear of catching a virus, in fear of getting sick, in fear of diseases. And all of that doesn't have to be that way. So, what do I mean by that? Well, when we start to look at our biology, there's a glaring omission when we can stand back and look. In today's modern medical world, we are looking at the physical body, but yet we are body, mind, and soul. The mind and the soul are non physical, and the body is physical. So, if we are looking at the whole being, we have to look at how the body, mind, and soul all work together. So, how do we do this? Well, one of the things is let's take a look and see if we can make it easier to see how all of this stuff works. When we take a look at the earth is surrounded by an electromagnetic field. We all know about the atmosphere of the earth. We all know about the north and the south poles and that they are magnetic. So, and then we also know that there's electricity in the atmosphere. There are thunderstorms, lightning strikes happening all around the globe all the time. There's lightning somewhere all the time. So we have this atmosphere around the Earth that is electromagnetic. Each and every one of us has our own electromagnetic field that surrounds our body. That electromagnetic field, just like we can't see the electromagnetic field of the Earth, we can't see the atmosphere. I mean, we can see the sky, we can breathe the air, but we don't see the electromagnetic field with our eyes. And we don't see the electromagnetic field around our bodies either. But it's this electromagnetic field that is influencing the body. So what do I mean by that? Well, the Earth has an atmosphere, and the weather happens in the atmosphere. So depending on what's going on in the atmosphere will depend on what happens to the Earth itself. For instance, if there is a big high pressure system, say over the southwest of the United States, happens there a lot. So you have a big high pressure system and it stalls in place. So now all of a sudden, in the Southwest, we'll say, this big high pressure system just sits there. And what happens? Well, it's sunny every day. It gets hot, it gets sunny. And with that high pressure system in place, there isn't any rain during that high pressure time. So as the high pressure system sits there, the ground, the earth, starts to dry out. So the effect of the weather on the earth is that the high pressure system dries out the earth. Conversely, if you have a low pressure system that is sitting over someplace and it's just raining and raining and raining and raining, and that low pressure system doesn't move, the earth gets saturated. The earth starts to, the lakes and the streams and the ponds, they all start to fill up. They can overflow if that low pressure system sits there for long enough. You end up with flooding. So this is how you can see this on the earth. With each one of us, we have our own atmosphere. And each and every one of us has our own little pressure systems in our atmosphere. When we've got a high pressure system going on, we've got high vibes. It's sunny. Our life is happy. We're healthy. It's all good to go. We're in the flow. But then when that low pressure system comes, we feel pressure. We feel darkness. We feel anger, fear, doubt, guilt, shame. All of those things are like low pressure systems. And when those storms, when we have storms in our energy field, you know, our marriage is on the rocks, we're worried about our child, we're worried about how are we going to pay the rent. All of these things are like storms in our own personal atmosphere. So what's going on in our own personal atmosphere dictates what happens on our earth, on our physical body. What's happening in our physical body is the result of what's happening in our atmosphere. So the atmosphere that surrounds our body is electromagnetic in nature. Thoughts are electrical and emotions are magnetic. So when we have something going on in our life, you know, we are walking around in fear of being attacked by a virus. We are walking around worried all the time. That's a storm in our energy field. That's something that is stirring up the energy. And for every certain type of storm, every type of storm system on the planet has a specific effect on the earth. So that high pressure system has the effect of drying out the earth. And then it will eventually, it can start fires so that the fire is renewal. The low pressure systems, they form water. So, you know, we have more water coming in. It can fill up the lakes and the streams, provide water and nourishment for plants. Um, an earthquake has its own effect on the earth. The A tornado will have a different effect than a high pressure system will have. Uh, um, a hurricane has a different effect than a snowstorm. Okay, so every type of weather system that we have produces a specific effect on the planet. Every type of mental and emotional storm that we have, if it's a fear of death, if it's anger in the territory, if we have like somebody that's invading our space, or we want somebody to get out of our face, that's a different type of storm. um, if we're worried about, our spouse may be facing a critical situation, that can be a different type of storm. Having not enough money, that creates a different type of storm. Each one of these types of storms will have a specific and unique effect on the physical body. And the physical body is designed to directly reflect the storms in the atmosphere. So in today's the science, the overriding science of today doesn't take into consideration the atmosphere. It's not taking into consideration how the atmosphere, how our thoughts and emotions affect the physical body. So when we go to the doctor, all we're doing is looking at the physical effect of the storm. We're trying to fix the land, we're trying to fix the flooding, or we're trying to fix the drought, instead of moving the storm out of the way. If there's too much water coming, we need that low pressure system to move out so the sun can come in and bring back let the earth return to balance. Let it start drying itself back out again. For that high pressure system, we need the high pressure system to move out so that the rains can come in and rejuvenate the earth. Okay? When stuff is going on with our physical body, we need to do the same thing. We need to be able to move the storm out of our energy field that is generating the effect on the physical body. We are body, mind, and spirit. And we have to start looking at ourselves as a whole being rather than just the physical body. Back in the time when it was obvious that the sun was circling the earth, nobody thought twice about it because the visual evidence was clear. It was obvious that the sun was circling around the earth. But as humans, we can be deceived by our eyes. What appeared to be obvious, it turns out, now that we have telescopes and satellites, and we have pictures that are taken, we can see that the earth is actually circling around the sun, which is the center of our solar system. So it's completely now obvious to us that science had to change. That science had to flip on its head because it just simply wasn't accurate. It wasn't an accurate view. When we are human here on the planet, we're seeing everything up close and personal. From the Earth point of view, it was obvious that the sun was circling the Earth. But when we are able to step back and look from a broader perspective, and we can see the path of the Earth and the other planets around the sun, It gives us a different perspective, and we can see that what we were looking at from Earth wasn't actually true from a universal standpoint. So, right now, medicine, what we are looking at the physical body up close, but we're not stepping back and we're not seeing the whole picture. We're not seeing how the physical stuff in our body is being generated. So, for every single symptom that shows up in the body, that symptom is the result of an atmospheric condition, an atmospheric storm. Basically, we get a lightning strike, right? Life hits us upside the head with, hey, you've got this unexpected bill. Here's $1,000 unexpected bill. And oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my rent? How can I pay this and my rent? I don't know. Um, oh, I think my spouse is cheating on me. Oh, ow. Oh, oh, I think I'm worried about getting a virus. Ooh, we have these lightning strikes. And when that happens, it's like, oh, we get shocked by that electrical charge that's in our energy field. And it's that lightning strike, that moment when we go, what just happened? That's the lightning strike. That's the thing that starts the process in the body, that generates the storm in our energy field. And as long as that storm is brewing and we're trying to figure out what to do, we're trying to make sense of whatever it was that just knocked us in the head with life, we're trying to figure it out. As soon as we get it figured out, we can go, oh, phew, all right. All right, I got this. We're all good. The storm moves out. And as the storm moves out, the body has been responding to that storm. The body has been doing something. The body, just like as the storm is brewing, as the high pressure system is there, the earth is drying out, or as the low pressure system there, the earth is becoming saturated. The body does the same thing. As the storm or the weather condition is there, the body is doing something. There is a reaction to that storm. When the storm moves out, if the body has been inundated with extra cells, well, now the body doesn't need those extra cells. If the body has been being depleted of cells, it now needs to rebuild itself. So as the storm moves away, the body goes into healing. And as the body goes into healing, it regenerates itself, just like the earth regenerates herself after the storm moves on, the earth rebalances herself. Look at what has happened now to the earth without humans meddling for a little while. When we have been getting out of the way, look at how fast the earth has rejuvenated herself. Look, we can see the Himalayas now for the first time in decades. We can see Mount Everest. We can see we can see K2. We can see all of the mountains. We can see in Venice, the canals, the waters are clear. The fish have returned. The pink swans have returned. We can see how the earth rejuvenates herself. Our bodies are designed to do the exact same thing. When we get out of the way, the body rejuvenates itself. But what we don't understand is we've been in the way. We've been getting in the way of our own healing process. Because we haven't been looking at the storms, we don't see the storms. We can't see what's going on in our energy field. We're not seeing people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We're not seeing what is generating the physical effect. So all we do is we find a physical effect that feels uncomfortable, that looks bad, whatever it is, and we go, uh-oh, there's something wrong with my body. So then we try to fight whatever's going on in our body. But our bodies are designed to heal themselves, to rejuvenate themselves, just like the earth is. But what happens is we get in there and we go, uh-oh, there's something wrong with my body. We don't trust the body to rejuvenate itself. So we figure that we have to do the healing for the body. And all we're doing is we're meddling, we're getting in the way. We're preventing the body from doing what it is designed to do. So we are, right now, we are at the point in medicine where we actually have to look at the science, because the current science is not taking the whole being into consideration. We are focused on what's wrong with our body, but it's the misperception. There's nothing wrong with our bodies. Our bodies are doing exactly what they're designed to do. Our bodies are designed to support us through the storms of life. They're designed to help us weather the storms. And as the storm passes, they're designed to rebalance and rejuvenate themselves, just like the earth is. So it is time to take a look at the science. It is time to stop believing that there are things that are wrong with our bodies and start noticing why the body is doing what it's doing. Because nothing is attacking our bodies when we can see that whatever's happening to our body is being generated from our own personal atmosphere. When we can see that there have been storms in the atmosphere that have generated the physical effect, we can start to look at the storms and we can start to clear the storms away, because the storms are our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic. How we combine the two determines our energy field. When we've got a storm going on, when there's a storm brewing in the atmosphere, it feels like fear, it feels like doubt, it feels like guilt, it feels like shame, it feels like betrayal, it feels like all kinds of negative emotions. That's the key to knowing that there's a storm brewing. When we're not feeling good, when we're feeling doubt, when we're feeling mistrust, when we're feeling fear, those are the signs of the storm. And as the storm is brewing, something's going on in our body where the storm is having an effect on the body. So when we stop worrying quite so much about what's happening to the body and we start retracing our steps so we can see what the storm is, we can make sure that we neutralize the storm. And as we neutralize the storm, then the body will rejuvenate and regenerate itself, because that's what it's designed to do, right? When you break your bone, you break your arm, you break the bone, and what happens? Well, you put it back together and the body does the rest. The body mends itself. When you cut yourself, the body seals itself back up. It's designed to heal itself every single time. But because we haven't noticed the storm that has caused the effect in the body, we simply assume there's something wrong with our bodies. So this perception has to change, because as humans, we deserve to know what's going on with our bodies. We deserve to know how amazing our bodies are. We deserve to live in peace and harmony with our bodies. We deserve to trust our bodies. We deserve the well-being that is ours by nature. And right now, the current science does not promote that trust in our own bodies. It promotes the fact that we need to kill something off or fight something in our bodies, and we end up getting in the way of our own healing. We have stopped trusting our bodies. Because we don't trust our bodies, people are running around the planet right now trying to protect themselves from something that they don't need to protect themselves from. Bacteria and viruses are the building blocks of our bodies. We need them. If we didn't have viruses, which are exosomes, and bacteria, we wouldn't have bodies because our bodies are built from them. We don't need to be afraid of them. They have been around since the beginning of time, and they are what have built the body structure. The viruses and bacteria are the workers. They are the construction workers of the body. They are the things that build cells. They are the things that help the body heal itself. They are the things that go in and regenerate and rejuvenate and restore the body to balance. We need these viruses and bacteria. Okay, we don't need to live in fear of them. We need to understand them. We need to understand the role they're playing. Right now, we are looking at them as these viruses, which are exosomes. The doctors are starting to figure this out now, that we're looking at it at like a plague of locusts. Like the overriding human perception is that there are all of these bad microbes out there that are trying to kill us. And it's like, wow, it's like a huge swarm of locusts have come in, and this is really terrible. But the locusts serve a purpose. Locusts come in cycles on purpose because they're infusing energy. They live on they eat the trees, then the critters eat the locusts, then the bigger animals come and eat the critters. So the locusts are like an infusion of energy into the ecosystem. We need those. It, as inconvenient and irritating as they are serving a valuable purpose. So we actually need them. The viruses are, I use the quotes, that they are serving a purpose. We need them. So we need to be able to see the role that they play, the purpose that they're serving, because they are serving a biological purpose. And we don't need to be running around the planet afraid, but we do need to relook at the science. And the good news is that the science has already been relooked at. There is already a brand new science that is in place. It has been in place for 40 years, but it has never been allowed to go mainstream. But now we need German new medicine to start going mainstream because it is the universal science. It tells how the storms in our energy field, how our emotions and thoughts directly affect the physical body. And it shows how this happens across all species, not just humans, but it happens in cats and dogs and bears and deer and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. It is a universal 5 biological laws of how our biology is set up to function, how the biology is programmed to respond to every type of weather system that we have. Every type of emotional struggle we go through has a specific response in the body. And when we can start to see the correlation between our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the atmosphere of our body, and we can start to see how the non-physical affects the physical. We can start to have more control over our own well-being. We can stop running in fear from the symptoms our bodies display. And we can start to simply understand why the symptoms are there. And we can actually start to recognize that the symptoms are symptoms of healing in the body. They're symptoms that the body is supporting us. They are symptoms that the body is working exactly the way it's supposed to work. We can stop mistrusting our bodies. We can stop assuming the worst. And we can start recognizing the atmosphere, the storms that have been raging, or just simply kind of on the horizon. It's just like something that just kind of bothers me from time to time, but I'm just going to ignore it because it'll go away. No, look at it. Look at the storm. Look at what bothers you. Look at it. Because the only way you can neutralize it is to recognize it, to look at it, and then to do what you need to do to neutralize it. There are simple techniques. But this is why the science has to be looked at. It has to change because the current model is not true. Germ theory is just that. It's a theory, and it has been proven incorrect. But our whole modern medical system, the pharmaceutical companies, the medical system, are built upon germ theory. The idea that germs attack our bodies, the idea that diseases attack our bodies. And it's simply not accurate. It is not looking from the broader perspective. It's not taking all of the components into consideration. It's only looking at the physical, visual evidence. It's not looking at the other components that we don't see with our physical eyes. So the new science has been around for 40 years, but it has never been released on a large scale to the public. So the public is running around in the dark right now. So we need to be able to start opening our eyes and seeing what else is possible. So I invite you, look at, don't take my word for it. Look at German New Medicine. Explore, do some research, and look and see. The doctor who discovered German New Medicine, just like Galileo and Copernicus, he was also banned. He was also called the heretic. He was also ostracized. His life was also threatened. Okay? But the ones who see the bigger picture are the ones who get pushed aside because we don't like change. We don't want to see what's actually happening. We don't want to change the things that are seemingly the way things are. But it is time for humanity to change. It is time for us to be able to understand what's actually happening to our bodies so that we can live in peace and harmony with our bodies, and so that we can allow our bodies to rejuvenate and regenerate just as they're designed to do. We don't need to live in fear of our symptoms anymore. When we start to look at ourselves as an entire ecosystem, when we start to look at the atmosphere around our bodies, when we start to look at the thoughts, feelings, and emotions and see how they directly affect our bodies, we can start to address the actual problem. The physical body is not the problem. It's the storm that's been brewing in the atmosphere that is the problem. I hope that this has been helpful. I would really like to see a planet that understands the physical body, that can take the masks off and realize there's nothing to fear. We don't need to protect ourselves from bacteria and viruses that are here to build our bodies. They're here to help us. They serve a purpose. But don't take my word for it. Do research. If you'd like to know more, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to enlighten you with any resources or information that you would like. I wrote this book, The Simplicity of Self-Healing. When I learned how to heal myself, when I learned all of this stuff intuitively, when I was facing cancer and I was terrified of this thing that appeared to be attacking me, when I was able to see through the illusion, when I was able to see beyond the surface, it suddenly became very clear to me that we don't have to fear these things because these things are the illusion. They're not what's actually happening to our bodies. When we can start to trust our bodies, we will be out of fear. And when we're out of fear, we will get out of our own way and we will have well being and trust and peace and harmony with our bodies. And when we have all of those things with our bodies, we will have those things with each other and with the planet as well. We are moving from an old paradigm to a brand new 5D new Earth. All of the old stuff that has been keeping us stuck, keeping us in lack and in limitation and in dis-ease, all of that has to be looked at. All of that has to be let go in order for us to move into the new Earth. So this is what's happening on the planet right now. We're moving into the new Earth. So there is a new science in town, and I invite you to please check it out. Check out German New Medicine. You can go to the website learninggnm.com and look at the 5 biological laws. There's amazing amount of information there. If you study the videos on the 5 biological laws, you will start to see the bigger picture. You will start to see beyond the disease mentality. You'll start to see the brilliance of the body design. And you'll start to see that you have so much more control over your health and well-being than you have ever been allowed to know. So, Justine, I see you have a question. Did I get chemo or did I heal myself? I healed myself. I did not go the medical route. I simply went inside and I started looking at the storms that were going on in my life. As I cleared out the storms, my body started to heal. And as I cleared out the storms, I made space in my energy field for new information to come in. And one day, boom, the information popped in and it became completely obvious what was happening to my body. And it became completely obvious to me that the cancer that I thought was happening to my body is not what was happening to my body. And I realized it's not what's happening to anybody's body either. And it was only later on that I learned about German New Medicine. And it was like, hey, great, somebody's already done all the science, all the research to verify what I learned intuitively. So please, I teach self-healing. If you need assistance, please reach out to me. I will be more than happy to help you with that. Otherwise, and again, I say, don't believe me, please go to the German New Learning GNM, German New Medicine, learninggnm.com, and look at the 5 biological laws. See how the body responds. See the German New Medicine compass of how the storms in the life, when the lightning strike hits, it's like, oh, and then the body does something in response to that lightning strike. And then once we've resolved the storm and the storm goes away, the body goes through a 2-phase healing process. It's all mapped out. It's all completely logical and obvious. And we can see through German New Medicine why the body has the symptoms it has. Those symptoms are serving a purpose. We don't want to try to kill the symptoms. We want to understand the symptoms. We want to understand why the body has produced extra cells or why the body has depleted the number of cells, because it's serving a purpose. There's a reason for it. You're not being attacked by a disease. Your body is responding to try to help you through the storms. So I hope that was helpful. So please, again, I'm a teacher of new medicine, of self-healing. I'm not a practitioner of German New Medicine, but I am a teacher of self-healing. I am a teacher of the new consciousness, the new 5D consciousness. So I help you clear out the old patterns that keep us in lack, limitation, and disease, so we can step into the well-being that is ours by nature. Well-being is the order of the day. There's nothing other than that. You cannot be not okay, but you can talk yourself out of being okay. And that fear will be the thing that you talk yourself out of it. So please do yourself a favor. Talk yourself back into your well-being. Know your well-being. All right. I've yammered on plenty for today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging in there with me today. I hope this made sense. I hope this helps you to see from a broader perspective so you can start to trust yourself and trust your body, because your body's got your back. Literally, it's on your side. It is resilient. It is brilliant. And it knows exactly what to do when you can trust it. So thank you for watching. If you would like to read a different perspective on what's going on in your body, The Simplicity of Self-Healing is available on Amazon.com or through my website, connectingyoutoyou.com. So thank you for watching, and until next week, create for yourselves a great week. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Lunch with Lisa. Till next week, bye for now.